WIBTA the adding an autism-friendly side menu to my restaurant? My wife and I run a small Italian restaurant. Capacity of 20 to give an idea. This is beside the point, but our margins are slim because it's more so a passion of mine to cook, rather than for any monetary gain. I retired a decade ago pretty young, so this has been my hobby and focus. We also have a particular daughter who we're awaiting for an appointment to verify she is on the spectrum, but she has tells already that make us and our pediatrician believe so. The big thing is particularity about food. For example, her diet is 90% cucumbers, crackers, cheese, and tomatoes, and it needs to be prepared a certain way. Like if her tomatoes are quartered, she will throw a tantrum. I broached to my wife the idea of a small side menu of, and I'm not sure how best to describe it without offense, autism-friendly appetizers and entrees. Things like mixed veggies and crackers, plain pasta with cheese, and so on. I'm developing it with my daughter in mind, so I'm basing it on her food preferences. It's still a work in progress, but I'm also talking to some of our couple friends who have children on the spectrum for ideas. My wife says it's infantilizing to have something like that on our menu, and that I'm trying to appeal to a tiny demographic despite our slim margins. She, instead, said that if people are not happy with our offerings they should eat elsewhere. It breaks my heart a little because I'm doing this for my daughter and other children like her. And to my mind, it incentivizes more customers. So in fact, it would maybe generate extra revenue. We jointly own the property and have jointly come up with our menus. So we're at a standstill. I will very likely need to drop the topic and things go on as usual. I want to refer to this sub, however, and possibly take some of the comments here and push harder. What do you think? I would let it be known that you are willing to alter dishes for people with dietary or sensory issues. I believe that you would get more business with publicizing your openness than with altering the menu. As someone with autism, I think this is a little weird, and I don't know that it would make me feel welcome. Everyone on the spectrum is different, so your idea of what is autism-friendly would not be friendly for me at all. Why not just have a statement that you can adjust for dietary and sensory needs? I think the issue is you're generalizing what the problems might be for an extremely diverse entire community of people. My autistic child wouldn't eat any of the suggested items on the list. A better approach would be to state on the menu that you are flexible and happy to prepare plain, specific dishes if people request it. I think the idea is nice in principle, but your wife is also right that your approach is patronizing. Nah, but dude, just put those options on your everyday menu. There is no need for an extra disclaimer. And it wouldn't be accurate because not all autistic people have the same sensory issues. One may have issues with their food touching. One may only eat crunchy things. The next may only eat soft things. And then there are people with ARFID or other problems who are not autistic but still would appreciate having some simple options. Just put it on the menu. Let everyone pick from it whatever they want. Everybody's happy. Nah, but I think you will find it's not so easy. My nephew, for instance, would eat raw spaghetti out of the box. And tomatoes. And those get eaten like an apple. Every single person will have their own quirks. Your kid might like cukes sliced, but someone else only eats them in skewer form. You could try offering basics instead. Pasta, with option to add butter, cheese, olive oil, etc. Plain grilled chicken breast, unseasoned veggies. That way it's marketed to all food issues, allergies, textures, taste, your average 3-year-old going through a phase, etc., instead of focusing on autism. Why WBTA if you just call it your autism-friendly menu, as all autistic people aren't the same. However, since your intentions are to create a menu for people like your daughter, how about just naming it after her, i.e., Sarah's menu? Not all autistic people will have the same food preferences. You could name the dishes your daughter helps create after her, or give her a small section of the menu called Names Creations. I'm gonna go with nah. As a former restaurant owner and lifelong restaurant worker, I think what you're trying to do is nice, but your wife is right that it's limited in scope to who you're going to reach with it. Because not every person on the spectrum has the same food aversions. I think it would be better to put a little blurb on the menu that says you allow and will work with folks who have food aversions, dietary restrictions to make something they will enjoy. NTA, but it's a bad idea. There is a reason it's called the autism spectrum. Because everyone with autism is different. Instead, just put a note on your menu that you are autism friendly and happy to adapt dishes to accommodate sensory issues with food. Add menu substitutions and sensory-friendly options available upon request to the main menu. Nah, your heart is in the right place, but it's not going to bring in business. My sister has AFRID and can't eat a lot of foods for sensory reasons. But her restrictions are not the same as our cousin who is autistic. There are few foods they actually have in common. It's not going to add profit or make people with sensory issues feel more included, since the set list of sensory foods might not be their foods. Maybe make a special with your daughter's name. Every day write a meal that she would eat, or inspired by her. But you should rename it to sensory friendly or texture friendly. Nah, your heart is in the right place. And it's a sweet thought. But autistic people are not a monolith and their food preferences will not be the same. Rather than have a side menu, just have a note that you're willing to accommodate. NTA, but I agree with others that your implementation is misguided. I would just have a statement saying you're happy to accommodate dining preferences. If you absolutely must include a menu item, how about a build-you-own entree combo item where people can customize? I think the most important thing you can do is make sure your waitstaff knows that you are flexible and happy to accommodate diners' needs. They are the first contact with the customer, and if they aren't on board, you won't even know about special requests. I'm developing it with my daughter in mind. There's an issue right there. One kid's autism dietary preferences will not automatically match another's. Like others have said, just say you'll cater to dietary and sensory preferences or something. Nah. I personally don't see a reason to add autism-friendly food to an already minimal menu. I don't think it makes you an awe for wanting to do that. Despite the fact that not all autistic people have the same food preferences. I work with an autistic child who will only eat chicken. I've worked with autistic kids that only want items that are plain with no sauce. Every kid is different. Nah, but autistic friendly is a big claim. Because plain pasta with cheese can be nice for allistic people, and what works for some autistic might not work for others. Some work for autistic and ARFID people. Put it in your regular menu. If you want to name the category, put daughter's name's choice, or something completely different. Maybe sensory friendly. NTA, but it's just inappropriate. Maybe have a statement about specialized food preferences on the menu, indicating a willingness to prepare something special. But if you try to design a menu around autistic preferences, it will be never-ending. People WASD are just people with different likes and dislikes. Nah, but every autistic person can have vastly different safe foods. This menu will not accomplish what you want it to accomplish. Rather, additional information about being able to modify dishes for sensory issues as a quick note in your menu could be helpful. Crackers and cheese could be an easily added bit to your appetizer menu. Veggies that you use for other dishes could be put on the appetizer menu also. I would avoid adding vegetables that you don't already use as they are often very perishable and may not be popular. I'm thinking cucumbers in particular. Creating a whole separate menu for autistics will not work. Heck, my safe food is curry and I'm allergic to half of what you mentioned for it. I understand the sentiment, but you can accomplish your goal of inclusion much more readily by adding in the note about being able to make accommodations for sensory issues. Not every autistic person is alike. Making such a menu comes off as very rude and judgmental to me. I have a family member with autism. They eat like everyone else. Sure, there's a texture here and there that is off-putting, but that's it. No plain pasta or crackers. Your wife is right too. You're making a menu fit for a picky toddler. I won't say YTA cause you have good intentions, but this is not a good idea. Add the dishes if you wish, but don't separate them from the rest of the menu or add in, if you like something done we can do that. We want to accommodate sensory or dietary requirements. Please let us know.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.